Welcome back. We are now joined by Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, who just today announced she will be running for U.S. Senate. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to start here. Obviously, I don't think this was much of a surprise for many people. Obviously, you waited until Senator Durbin made his announcement yesterday that he would not be seeking re-election. But let's just start here. Tell me a little bit about your campaign pitch. What's the sales pitch for why you should go to the Senate?
Well, look, we can see it all across Illinois. People are fed up. They are angry. They are looking at the chaos that's coming out of Washington, D.C. They heard the promises that Donald Trump made that he was going to make their lives better, and he has done the exact opposite. And so they're looking for someone to stand up to Donald Trump. They're looking for somebody who is going to fight for them. And they're looking for new ideas, new perspectives, new energy in Washington, D.C., because honestly, the old playbook just isn't working anymore. And I am that fighter. I'm someone who's going to stand up. That's what I've been doing throughout this administration. And I'm going to keep fighting for the people of Illinois. And I'm looking forward to doing that in Washington, D.C. on their behalf.
What would you point to in your record as the lieutenant governor, in your time previously in the state legislature, as proof of that fighting record that you were talking about?
Well, look at the big things that we've been able to do in our administration. And they're things that people really care about. As the Trump administration is stripping away people of their health care and their Medicaid coverage, here in Illinois, we've been able to erase medical debt. As they promised to make prices of groceries lower, we've seen the prices of groceries go up as a part of this trade war that Donald Trump has started. But here in Illinois, we eliminated the grocery tax. We've done things like protect a woman's right to choose, as well as created thousands of jobs across our state as part of the largest investment in infrastructure that our state has ever seen. So it's not just about the fight, although the fight is important. It's also about delivering for everyday Illinoisans. And that's what I've been doing since I've been a public servant.
You obviously waited until Senator Durbin made his announcement that he would not be seeking re-election. But I'm curious, when you talk about fighting back against the administration, there has been some criticisms of Senator Durbin's record so far during the second Trump term and the votes he's taken, especially around the spending plan. Are you concerned with the current leadership in the Senate and their ability to carry out that fight?
Look, first of all, let me just say I want to just thank Senator Durbin for his longtime service to the people of Illinois and for the many ways that he has been an example of what a public servant should be. He's somebody that has been instrumental in my career, and I'm just very grateful for his leadership. What I am focused on is the kind of leader that I want to be and what I want to bring. And even you heard Senator Durbin say, it is time to pass the torch. It's time to bring on new energy, new leaders to Washington, D.C. And that's exactly what I expect to do. I've been talking to people all across our state. And, you know, I think about my own story and how I was a mom of four, caring for my mother. At the time, I had three daughters, and caring for my mother kind of in that sandwich generation, like so many Illinoisans who are just trying to figure things out. They're not going to pay attention to every single news story or everything that's happening in DC. But what they do want to know is that somebody is there fighting for them. So that's what I'm going to focus on, how I can earn their vote, earn their support. And I'm going to be meeting with Illinoisans every single day so that I can bring that fight to Washington, D.C.
You are the first to throw your hat in the ring for this race, but you're definitely not going to be the last one. There's been some other big names from Illinois politics, including sitting members of Congress. Their names are floated out there for potentially running for this seat. What makes you stand out? Why, compared to others who have already been to D.C., have already been out there and have an established reputation?
Well, I mean, I think what I'm hearing from Illinoisans all across our state is how important it is that people get things done. I mean, people want to know that their government is working for them, that is helping to make their lives better. And look at all of the things that Governor Pritzker and I can point to about how we have done exactly that. The ways that we have balanced the budget for 6 consecutive years in a row, and now on the way to a 7th consecutive balanced budget, raise the credit rating upgrade, protected reproductive reproductive freedoms, making sure that we've created jobs and supported education. And all of those things, quite frankly, are under threat by the Trump-Musk administration. And so what I would say is that the old playbook that we've seen in Washington, D.C., honestly, it just isn't working anymore. And again, people are looking for a new perspective, new energy, new leadership. And that's exactly what I will bring as I serve as the United States Senate.
There are a lot of people in this state that would be your constituents if you were elected to the Senate that support Donald Trump, who voted for him in the past 3 elections, probably, that will hear a lot of what you've said so far and would be concerned. What would your message be to them that you would also be a representative for them as well?
Well, first of all, I would say that I've already been a representative for them. I've served as the lieutenant governor of the entire state of Illinois for the last 6.5 years. And I've always made it a point to travel the entire state, to talk to Illinoisans, and to represent their best interest, regardless of where they fall on the political spectrum. But look, it's just the fact of life that there are people right now who voted for Donald Trump who are recognizing that they have some buyer's remorse, that when he threatens now to take away their health care, when he's slashing the jobs of veterans, when he is threatening Social Security, and when he has caused a trade war with our allies that has raised the cost of groceries in complete contradiction to what he said he would do, which was lower the price. Well, none of those promises have been kept. And so I think we're going to continue to see people taking to the streets. You already are seeing what's happening at the town halls all around the state and all around the country, quite frankly, where people are voicing their opinions that this is not what we voted for, but that's who Donald Trump is. And we need to make sure that there's someone who's going to stand up to Donald Trump and stand up against his failed policies and fight for the people of Illinois. And that's the exact kind of leader that I'll be.
The playbook for your administration, the Pritzker administration here in Illinois, has been pretty clear on where that pushback is. There's been a lot of legal fights, obviously a lot of public rebuking of the Trump administration. What can Democrats in D.C. be doing better? What if the old playbook isn't working? What does the new playbook look like?
Well, I am not, there's going to be lots of analysis of what people should do in general. What I want to focus on is what I plan to do and why I'm running for the United States Senate. And it's because I want to be a fighter for the people of Illinois. When Donald Trump puts forth policies that are not in the best interest of the people of Illinois, I want to stand for the people of our state. I want to stand up against those policies. And what I have always said is that I'm not afraid to get into the ring and fight those battles. And that's exactly what I'll do. But I'll also bring my experience. As I said, I mean, middle-class families are paying the price for these failed policies of Donald Trump. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like when you're just trying to make sure that your kids have access to a quality education, when you're trying to put food on the table, when you're trying to make sure or that you need access to the health care that is so necessary. I mean, all of these things are worth fighting for. And what I would just say is we need to continue to bring, the kind of leadership that I will bring, which is someone who's going to stand up, but also has experience delivering. And that's what people want. They want to know that the people representing them will deliver real results to make their lives better. And that's what I'll do.
You made your announcement today. You got a long campaign trail ahead of you, a year and a half until the actual election day. Obviously, primary coming up first. What does the next step look like for you?
Well, the next step looks like rolling up my sleeves, getting to every corner of our state, talking to as many Illinoisans as I can to not only listen to their concerns, but to let them know that I'm somebody that's going to fight for what matters to them. Those issues that they are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, the ways that they want to make sure that their government is going to stand up and deliver real results to make their lives better. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to not take anything for granted. I am going to work hard to earn their support. And I'll be out on the trail every single day to do that.
All right, Lieutenant Governor and current, now official candidate for U.S. Senate, Juliana Stratton, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Cole.